Hey guys, Mitchell Gross, Pinnacle Pixel Photo, Pinnacle Pixel Media on YouTube, and just Pinnacle Pixel Photo anywhere else, coming at you long-term wear, stress, use and abuse test of the Olympus 7 to 14 millimeter f2.8 Pro. Now, like I said in the previous video regarding the Olympus 12 to 40 millimeter f2.8 Pro, which I will link above, Olympus is trying to compete with Canon, Nikon, and Sony, and they're providing lenses that are built to a professional quality for the Micro Four Thirds lens mount. So this doesn't really compare to the Panasonic 7 to 14 millimeter. They're meant for different markets. This is meant to be built like a tank. This is meant to be used in harsh conditions. It's meant to handle that. I've used this in really harsh conditions. It still holds up great. Only thing to be aware of is the frontal element of it is susceptible to damage just because it does protrude past the lens hood. Let's talk about some specs really quick. This is going to be heavier than the Olympus 12 to 40 millimeter. It's almost heavier than the Olympus OMD EM1 body I have. It's got a minimum focusing distance of 1/5 of a meter, so it's really close. And remember guys, the focusing distance isn't from the frontal element, it's from where the sensor is. So you're able to get almost to the point where you're touching the lens to whatever you're trying to photograph if you're trying to get stuff out of focus. Now to talk about the bokeh and kind of how you can use this lens. Because it is on a Micro Four Thirds lens mount, the 2.8 turns into a 5.6. Now creatively, there's very rarely any times that I had issues with that like I did on the 12 to 40. When I'm using this lens, I'm really not trying to isolate subject matter, and thus the extra area that I have in focus within the field of view is really helpful, right? This makes sense on a Micro Four Thirds lens mount, okay? It's a fast lens and everything is in focus, or most things are in focus, right? I have gotten bokeh out of this lens before. You're not going to get it on the wide end. You have to go down closer to the 24, 28 millimeter end of this lens. And that being said, it is pretty sharp. Center is definitely sharp at f4. The whole image is fantastic. Vignetting, relatively little vignetting on the wide side. Nothing that really I've ever been bothered by. It almost adds, what vignetting is there, almost adds to the look of the lens. And as you zoom it in, there's almost no vignetting whatsoever. Weight and heft wise, it matches decently well with the EM1. It is heavier than the camera body, and that's one of the drawbacks of it. As much as I love this lens, it's big and it's really heavy. That being said, this is going to be probably the only zoom lens I hold on to for Micro Four Thirds moving forward, because creatively, having the wide angle, having the deep depth of field where everything's in focus isn't an issue to me. It's great for concerts, DJs, shooting a stage. What you can get in the frame with this really is jaw-dropping, really is astonishing. And one thing I've also found is that images I take with this lens often do really well on Instagram. I'll have a video about shooting for Instagram at another time, but that's just one thing I've observed. And I think it really is because the field of view is so astonishing. So if someone's got questions regarding it, regarding my uses of it, or regarding, I'll shoot some sample footage and put that on the end of this video. But really guys, if you're looking to get an ultra wide angle lens for Micro Four Thirds, for your Blackmagics, for your GH4s, for shooting video, if you're trying to shoot stills, this is the lens to get. Don't get the Olympus 12 millimeter. As great as that lens is, you're not losing that much light by going this lens. It's not that much more expensive if you're already putting out the $700, $800 for the 12 millimeter. And on top of that, you get more out of this lens, and you will love it and hate it because it is so big and heavy, and because it is heavier than the EM1. But that being said, when I reach into my camera bag looking for an ultra fast wide angle lens, this is going to be the one that I'm reaching for until I get the Nikon 14 to 24. That's it.